Welcome to DMU. So I'm Professor Raffaella. I'm Professor of Environmental Engineering, which I'm a bit of a white beast in this university, but we are growing, I hope, hopefully. I'm also Associate in Research for the Faculty of Computing Engineering Media and Net Zero Team Co-Director, hence why I'm here talking to you as an environmental engineer. So we are seeing a lot of changes with the new Vice Chancellor here at DMU. We are embracing this new empowering agenda from our teaching point of view. So we are kind of changing all our delivery, but also from a research point of view. So we have, I think we've done relatively well in our ref, but we have, we'd like to focus for the next round. Like every university, we want to do better, and we are kind of implementing changes that hopefully will strengthen even further our research output and our research impact. So the university is now trying to enter this strategic new vision of clubbing our research into 5 thematics, which were identified through analyzing the work and the output of the university. So the 5 thematic are lifelong well-being, which is related to the work that we do in pharmacy, nursing, in our Faculty of Health and Life Science. But not only that, because we do a lot of work outside the faculty, for example, in engineering on prosthetic design. So there's that silo that is usually created by faculty and discipline. We'd like to break down and start doing proper interdisciplinary research. Living in a digital society is another example. We got a faculty of a school of computer science, but there's a lot of digital analysis going on in engineering, for example, but also in art. The team director of Living in a Digital Society is Professor Gabriel Egan, which is a scholar, is a Shakespeare. He used digital for analyzing text. So that's where we are coming to as a kind of thematic. And actually, since the launch of the themes, I have learned a lot about our university, about what's happening across my faculty, not just in my faculty. So net zero. I had the pleasure to meet Kyun-sun. I wouldn't have met otherwise. And other people across business and law, but also in engineering and in health and life science. And fun enough, there's actually work on net zero also in art and design. So net zero at DMU, what do we do? How do we approach it? So when we decided what was our ambition as director of Net Zero, we thought, what do we do well? How do we become competitive? How do we become impactful in our own way? We don't want to be Cambridge. We don't want to be Imperial. We want to be DMU. What are we good at? And we realized that we have a lot of strengths that are actually our own strengths. We do a lot of work in decarbonization, in low carbon transition. So decarbonization and low carbon system and infrastructure. We got an Institute of Energy and Sustainable Development that looks at both technical and social impact of low carbon transitions. We got technical people in engineering that is looking, for example, at material for photovoltaic, but also from this photovoltaic we are looking at smart grids and implementation of solar in low-income countries, for example. So there's a lot of work that is across discipline that is benefiting from the thematic. And we also realize that we are very good at liaising with the local businesses. We are good at liaising with our county council, and we so working also in developing this new partnership, hopefully with Derby as well. So I just want to give you some examples, and I think Abby is coming after me, so he can go into maybe, I don't know if you're talking about your project, but if you're not, this is also another project of Abby. So we got example of low carbon transition more on a technical side. For example, is the project from Professor Andrew Wright on called Safe Ground, is funded by the EPSRC, and it looks at embedding the heat pump into the civil engineering structure of household. We also been previously done some work. We have previously done work on heat pump. We got actually a full implementation in one of our buildings that was part of a European project. So we do have a lot of knowledge in that area, but we also do work on comfort, monitoring the comfort of room and shades, etc. Abby, Dr. Abhishek, won a fellowship with the Royal Academy of Engineering, and one of his projects is looking at novel air warming and sanitizing system to combine heat and sanitization, which is very, it was very important in these days with the pandemic. We have example of work on local community and businesses. For example, Professor Budd and Ison are working with Leicester to analyze the mobility, the public transport, and the private the use of private car in the cities, in our city, in Leicester. They also are won our scholarship, our Net Zero scholarship, in collaboration with Dr. Gongora in computer science on decarbonizing airports. So that's again another big project in collaboration with the local airport. We also have work with Dr. Wang here in School of Business on the carbon footprinting of the manufacturing sector, so which is obviously very topical in this area. We also have other example of how we liaise with community. Obviously, Dr. Kim Song is an example of this network. She won some money for a research network, but also in collaboration with Leicester University, we are running a carbon literacy project, which is aimed both at local people but also businesses. So we are kind of doubling up, teaching that just transition that is so important for net zero. We're not going anywhere unless people understand what net zero means and why is so important. So that's some example of what we are doing. As I said, net zero has just started. We just started about 6-7 months ago. We're at the beginning. I hope that we will be able to invite you to next year to another conference where we can show you the progress. but also I'll be very, very keen on collaborate with anyone. We have got some small funding to facilitate collaboration. So anyone that is interested in, you know, working with us, please contact me. I'll be happy to put you in contact with the right person and facilitate that collaboration. So our ambition, we have got an ambition. We want to become a focal point for net zero. As I said, DMU net zero is not going to be the net zero of Derby or NTU is our own net zero in the Midlands. We want to develop new opportunity and partnership. We want to focus and support this research agenda in DMU, and we want to create an identity of social innovation in that area at DMU. So probably rushed, so I'm ahead of myself.
Oh, yeah.
So these are my contacts. The other director is Dr. March Charlton, but you can also write netzero@dmu.ac.uk. We will respond to your email at that email address.